What if I told you there are regions of space so impossibly cold, so vast, they challenge the very fabric of our universe? Or that scientists have created something that literally bends time, even at a microscopic level? Or that there are creatures at the bottom of the ocean that dissolve bones without a mouth? Buckle up, because today we're diving headfirst into the truly bizarre, the mind-bending, and the utterly fascinating corners of physics, biology, genetics, and astronomy that you probably haven't heard about. This isn't your grandma's trivia night. This is the cutting edge of what makes our reality so wild. 1. Hypervelocity stars, the galactic escape artists. Imagine a star, not just orbiting our galaxy, but actively fleeing it. We're talking about stars accelerating to such insane speeds they break free from the Milky Way's gravitational pull, destined to wander the intergalactic void alone forever. These are known as hypervelocity stars, and they're some of the universe's most dramatic runaways. The situation. For decades, astronomers theorized about these cosmic projectiles, but it wasn't until the early 2000s that we started actually spotting them. One of the most famous examples is HE 0437-5439, a young, massive blue star discovered in 2005, blazing across space at an incredible 720 kilometers per second. That's over 1.6 million miles per hour. If our sun were moving that fast, it would be halfway to the moon in just 10 minutes. The context. So how did these stars get such a violent kick in the stellar pants? The leading theory points to our galaxy's supermassive black hole, Sagittarius A star, located right at the center of the Milky Way. Picture this: a binary star system, two stars orbiting each other, gets a little too close to the black hole's immense gravity. The black hole essentially eats one star, using its gravitational slingshot power to forcefully eject the other star at mind-boggling speeds. It's like a cosmic game of billiards, where the black hole is the cue ball and one star gets launched into oblivion. Finding these stars gives us incredible insights into the dynamics of galactic centers and the sheer power of supermassive black holes. It's a stark reminder that even something as seemingly stable as a star can be violently tossed out of its home system. 2. Time crystals, when time itself has symmetry. You know how a normal crystal has atoms arranged in a repeating pattern in space? Like, you look at a diamond, and those carbon atoms are structured, repeating, beautiful. Well, what if something had a repeating pattern not just in space, but also in time? Sounds like science fiction, right? Welcome to the world of time crystals, a genuine, mind-bending discovery in physics. The situation. First theorized in 2012 by Nobel laureate Frank Wilczek, the idea of a time crystal seemed almost impossible. Traditional crystals are in their lowest energy state, or ground state. A time crystal, however, would spontaneously break time translation symmetry, meaning its lowest energy would still be dynamic, repeating a pattern over time without needing any external energy input. Imagine a pendulum that, even in its lowest energy state, just hanging there, still swings in a perfect rhythm forever. That's the essence. For years, scientists debated if they could even exist. The context. Fast forward to 2017, and two independent teams, one led by Christopher Monroe at the University of Maryland and another by Mikhail Lukin at Harvard, announced they had successfully created the first experimental time crystals. How? They didn't make a perpetual motion machine. That's still impossible. Instead, they used chains of trapped atomic ions, or diamonds containing nitrogen vacancy centers, then hit them with precisely timed laser pulses. The trick is that these systems naturally settled into a repeating pattern that was different from the rhythm of the laser pulses, creating a stable, repeating oscillation in time without any further energy input to sustain that specific oscillation. It's a bit like pushing a child on a swing at a certain interval, but the swing still manages to develop its own unique, stable, repeating rhythm that's half of the push frequency. This isn't just a parlor trick, it's a new phase of matter that challenges our fundamental understanding of equilibrium and could have profound implications for quantum computing and ultra-precise timekeeping, potentially opening up entirely new areas of physics. 3. Osedax worms, the bone eaters of the deep. Okay, let's talk about something truly disgusting and utterly brilliant from the depths of our oceans. Imagine a worm, no mouth, no anus, but it can completely dissolve and devour the bones of dead whales, turning them into its own sustenance. Meet the Osedax worms, also charmingly known as bone-eating worms or zombie worms. The situation: these bizarre creatures were only discovered in 2002 by marine biologists exploring a whale fall, the carcass of a whale that has sunk to the ocean floor, in Monterey Bay, California, at depths of nearly 3,000 meters. Before Osedax, scientists thought that only bacteria and scavengers picked at whale bones, but here were these feathery, tree-like worms literally drilling into solid bone. The context: so how do they do it without a mouth? Osedax worms have roots that grow into the bone, secreting an acid that dissolves the mineral component. This allows the worm to absorb the fats and proteins trapped within the bone through specialized bacteria living inside its body, which then convert these nutrients into usable food. They essentially outsource their digestion to their internal microbiome. What's even wilder is their reproductive strategy. The large, visible female worms host hundreds of tiny dwarf males inside their bodies, creating a kind of harem. This ensures that any female who manages to find a precious whale carcass will always have males available for reproduction. Osedax are not just a strange biological curiosity, they're a vital part of the deep-sea ecosystem, playing a crucial role in recycling nutrients from massive whale falls, turning a potential waste heap into a feast for an entire specialized community, demonstrating life's incredible ability to adapt to even the most extreme and seemingly resource-scarce environments. 4. Human Accelerated Regions, HARS, the blueprint of our uniqueness. Ever wonder what makes us uniquely human? I mean, beyond opposable thumbs and a penchant for reality TV. Genetically, humans and chimpanzees share about 98–99% of their DNA. That tiny percentage difference, though, makes all the difference. And a significant part of that difference lies in what scientists call Human Accelerated Regions, or HARS. The situation: identified in the early 2000s through comparative genomics, HARS are specific segments of our genome that show an unusually high number of genetic changes since our divergence from chimpanzees, especially compared to other mammals. While most of our genome evolves at a fairly steady pace, HARS are like genetic hotspots where evolution went into overdrive, suggesting they played a critical role in developing uniquely human traits. The context: one of the most famous examples is HAR1, discovered in 2006. In 118 million years of evolution, from chickens to chimps, HAR1 accumulated only 2 genetic changes. But in the short 5 to 7 million years since humans and chimps diverged, it acquired a staggering 18 changes. This region is not a gene that codes for a protein, but rather a regulatory RNA molecule that is highly expressed in the developing cerebral cortex, specifically in a layer crucial for forming the complex folding patterns of the human brain. While its exact function is still being unraveled, the rapid changes in HAR1 strongly suggest it contributed significantly to the expansion and complexity of the human brain. Another example is HAR2, also known as HACNS1, which is involved in limb development, particularly influencing the opposable thumb and bipedal locomotion. It acts as an enhancer, boosting the activity of genes involved in hand and foot development. These HARs aren't just fascinating genetic quirks, they are windows into the evolutionary events that sculpted us, literally the genetic blueprints for what makes us capable of creating technology, art, and these very videos. They are a testament to the powerful, subtle shifts in our DNA that led to the modern human mind and body. 5. The Cosmic Microwave Background Cold Spot, a giant mystery in the sky. We've explored stellar escape artists, time-bending matter, and bone-eating worms. Now, let's look at something truly enormous that might break our understanding of the universe: the Cosmic Microwave Background Cold Spot. The situation: the cosmic microwave background, or CMB, is the faint afterglow radiation from the Big Bang, a snapshot of the universe when it was only about 380,000 years old. It's incredibly uniform in temperature, only varying by tiny fractions of a degree, which tells us the early universe was very smooth. However, when astronomers mapped the CMB using satellites like WAMAP and Planck, they found a massive, inexplicable region of space that is significantly colder than its surroundings. This cold spot is about 1.8 billion light-years across and is several of microkelvins colder than the average CMB temperature. It's not just a tiny blip, it's a huge statistical anomaly that's hard to explain with our current cosmological models. The context: so what could cause such an enormous cold spot? One of the leading hypotheses is that it's a supervoid, an absolutely massive region of space with far fewer galaxies and much less matter than average. Imagine a giant bubble of almost nothingness. If light from the CMB travels through such a void, it would lose energy due to a phenomenon called the integrated Sachs-Wolf effect, appearing colder to us. In 2015, astronomers did find evidence of a supervoid in the direction of the cold spot, located about 3 billion light-years away and stretching for about 1.8 billion light-years across. This is one of the largest structures ever discovered in the universe. However, even this supervoid might not be empty enough or large enough to fully explain the observed coldness. This leaves other, more speculative theories on the table. Could it be evidence of a texture in the early universe, a remnant of a phase transition? Or, even more wildly, could it be a scar from a collision with another universe in a multiverse scenario? While the supervoid theory is the most accepted, the cold spot remains a nagging enigma, a constant reminder that our understanding of the cosmos, its origins, and its true extent might still be incomplete, hinting at mysteries far grander than we can currently imagine. And there you have it, 5 facts that prove reality is often stranger, wilder, and more mind-blowing than anything we could invent. From stars making a break for it, to time-bending crystals, bone-dissolving worms, the genetic blueprint of humanity, and a cosmic cold spot that hints at other universes, our world and the universe beyond are absolutely bursting with the unexpected. What blew your mind the most? Let me know in the comments below.